Imagine running an app store for millions of users out of a private residence. That is effectively what F-Droid has just announced. After years of painfully slow updates and broken builds, the biggest open source repository on Android has finally upgraded their infrastructure on December 30th. The good news about this upgrade is that it's really fast, and the update cycle dropped from 4 days down to just 12 hours. The bad news: the hosting decision for this critical server creates a setup that is highly unconventional for an organization of this size. And considering their public financial reports show nearly $500,000 in available funds, we need to talk about why they chose what seems to be a residential setup over a commercial data center. Let's start with the announcement that has everyone talking. In their blog post titled "A Faster Heart," F-Droid included a paragraph that raised eyebrows across the sysadmin community. In it, they have explicitly said, quote, "We worked out a special arrangement so that this server is physically held by a long-time contributor," end quote. And then they go on to say, quote, "We know exactly where it is, and we know who has access," end quote. But many people are saying that this is notable because F-Droid has grown beyond a small hobby project. Between a reported $396,000 grant from the Open Technology Fund and over $100,000 in community donations alone, they should have a significant financial runway for what they offer. Professional server hosting with biometric locks, fire suppression, and redundant power is a standard expense for many tech organizations. This type of confidentiality is common within the industry, and with their funding, F-Droid certainly has the capital for enterprise-grade colocation. Instead, the infrastructure powering this repo is relying on the connectivity and physical security of this, quote, "long-time contributor," end quote. Now, to understand why they made this move, we have to look at the severe technical hurdles they faced leading up to this week. For the last several years, F-Droid has been running on hardware that was considered by many to be significantly outdated. And we're talking about CPUs that were estimated to be over a decade old. Modern Android apps use build tools that require specific math instructions, like SSE 4.1, and the old F-Droid servers simply could not process these modern instructions efficiently, or at all in some cases. And sadly, this caused a high rate of build failures for developers who wanted to use the popular alternative app store. Now, over time, this ended up creating a massive bottleneck. The server has struggled so much that a single update cycle took up to 4 days, which means if a developer fixed a critical bug on Monday, users would often be waiting until Thursday before they saw it in the F-Droid repository. And for a while, that's turned F-Droid into a backlog of pending updates. And this brings me to a genuine question for you guys. I understand the free and open source software community values decentralization and independence. There is definitely a certain charm to the DIY approach here. But when it comes to security updates and infrastructure stability, do you prefer this home server vibe because it feels more independent? Or do you think an organization with this much funding should be using enterprise facilities? Let us know in the comment section down below. Now, regardless of the location, we have to acknowledge the results here. It seems as if the new hardware is performing incredibly well. While the exact CPU model has not been listed, the performance jump is undeniable. The quote, faster heart, end quote, mentioned in the article has reduced that 4-day wait time down to less than 12 hours. This new hardware allows F-Droid to run 2 build cycles every single day, a morning cycle for auto updates, and an evening cycle for manual fixes. The new hardware also natively supports those modern instruction sets, so apps that were previously failing to build are now compiling correctly. The backlog for F-Droid is finally clearing, and the flow of security updates within the repository has been restored. But many people are saying that speed isn't the only metric that we should be looking at here. And we have to circle back to the operational risks that so many people are bringing up. By placing the physical server in a single contributor's possession, people are wondering if F-Droid has increased the risk of security issues and the longevity of the project. At the end of the day, it's all about access control. In a data center, access is logged, monitored, and restricted by corporate policy. In a private residence, though, those variables are harder to audit, and there have been multiple open source projects that have had to start over from scratch because that one point of failure seemingly disappeared, or a big argument caused the rift. Historically, F-Droid has prioritized keeping signing keys, which is the digital proof the app is legitimate, on air-gapped offline machines. But with automated builds happening twice a day, I'm seeing multiple people asking how that air gap is being maintained. If the signing keys are physically located near the build server, then physical security becomes paramount. And frankly, depending on your risk tolerance, that might be a deal breaker. So, if you want the benefits of open source apps, but you prefer not to rely on F-Droid's current infrastructure or the 12-hour delay, there is an alternative. You can pull updates directly from the developers on GitHub, instantly and automatically with an application called Obtainium. I already have a full guide on how to set that up here on the channel, so I'll have that linked down below in the video description and in the pinned comment so that it's easy for everyone to find.